Lining up for mini polls, SLFP, UNP, SLPP and several other parties submit nominations for local government elections. Safeguarding rights, Minister of Finance and Mass Media Mangala Samaraveera says the proposed new constitution will prioritize the right to information. Meeting the demands, Deputy Minister of Transport Ashoka Abesinghe says in Parliament that over 50 office trains will be deployed tomorrow. Appealing for recognition, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he expects European countries to recognize Jerusalem as his country's capital. The game changes. Interim coach of Sri Lanka cricket Nick Pothas speaks about the pivotal moments of yesterday's game.
I firmly believe there were two massive moments in the game.
Bringing you top developments from across Sri Lanka and around the world on Other Derana 24/7 First at 9. I'm Indiva Yamuath. We start off with the top story tonight. Submission of election nominations for 93 local government bodies commenced today. Accordingly, the closing date for submissions will fall at noon on the 14th of December. Meanwhile, the United National Party, Sri Lanka Freedom Party and Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna submitted nominations for several local government bodies today.
The Election Commission issued notices on the 27th of November calling for nominations in 93 local government bodies. Accordingly, the submission of nominations commenced at 8:30 this morning. Nominations for 21 districts are submitted at the relevant district secretariats, while nominations for Colombo are submitted to the new town hall. Meanwhile, the island's first nomination was submitted from the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna for the Galneva Pradeshiya Sabha in Anuradhapura district. The SLFP also submitted nominations for several local government bodies in the Gampaha district today. Former Minister Felix Pereira submitted nominations for the Jayala Municipal Council, while MP Janaka Surya Bandara placed deposits for Wattala Municipal Council and Mabola Pradeshiya Sabha. Former President Chandrika Bandanayaka Kumaratunga also participated in the occasion.
Madam, මෙවර මොන ලකුණෙන් තරඟවා දෙන්නේ? අත ලකුණ. අත ලකුණ ගම්පහ. ජයග්‍රහණය සම්බන්ධව මොකද? ජයග්‍රහණ කරන්න අපි දිනනවා. අපි දිනනවා. දිනනවා කිව්වොත් තවදාම දිනලා තියෙනවා.
Meanwhile, the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna also submitted nominations for 2 local government bodies in the Trincomalee district. The SLFP submitted nominations for 5 local government bodies in Badula district under the patronage of Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva. Meanwhile, UNP also submitted nominations for 1 local government body in Ratnapura district. The independent organisation named Public Campaign Against Umaoya Multipurpose Project placed deposit for 2 local government bodies in Badula district with the support of Uva Provincial Councillor Samantha Vidyaratna. Meanwhile, it was under the patronage of State Minister Vasantha Senanayaka that UNP placed deposits for local government bodies in the Polonnaruwa district. UPFA placed deposits in 4 local government bodies in the Gaul district under the patronage of Chief Minister of Southern Province Shan Vijayalal and parliamentarian Piyasena Gamage. Under the patronage of parliamentarian Buddhika Patirana, the UNP placed deposits for several local government bodies in the Matara district. The UNP also placed deposits for several local government bodies in the Matale district as well. Meanwhile, the Frontline Socialist Party said it will not contest in the upcoming local government election.
Many politicians expressed their views regarding the upcoming local government polls.
අපි ඔක්කොම එකතු වෙලා සභාවක් හදන්න ඕන කියලා තමුන්වහන්සේලා කල්පනා කරනවා නම් දෙන්න තියෙන්නේ ජනතා විමුක්ති පෙරමුණට විතරයි. මේ තුන් කට්ටුව අපේ රටට කරලා තියෙන විනාශය හොඳටම ඇති. දැන් කාලය ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන මේගොල්ලෝ දේශපාලන භූමියෙන් අයින් කරලා. මහින්ද මහත්තයා ඇවිල්ලා මොනවා කියයිද මේ සැරේ? මේ ඡන්දෙන් මහින්ද මහත්තයා පෙරදුනොත් රට බෙදෙනවා. ඕම් කියන සාත්තරේ. රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයා මොකක් කියේද? රට හදපු අපිට ගම හදන්න ප්‍රාදේශ සභාව දෙන්නේ. රට හැදුවා කියන මොකද රට වික්කා. රට අරගෙන රටේ ජාතික සම්පත් වික්කන ප්‍රාදේශ සභාවක් අරගෙන විල්යායක් හරි විකුණනවා මෙයා.
ඒකාබද්ධ විපක්ෂයට ඉතාම හොඳ ප්‍රතිචාරයක් තියෙනවා ලංකාව පුරාම. උතුර ගැන මම එච්චර දන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් අනිත් කොටස් නම් ඉතාම හොඳ බව අපි කවුරුත් දන්නවා.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ අපි දැක්කා අයවැය තුන්වෙනි වර කියවීමේ ඡන්ද විමසීම් වෙලාවේ අපේ ආණ්ඩුව කොයිතරම් ස්ථාවරද කොයිතරම් ශක්තිමත්ද කියන එක. පොහොට්ටුවේ උදවිය විවිධ කතා කීකී හිටියා. පෝය 2යි ඊළඟ අයවැයෙන් පරද්දනවා නොඑක් කතා කිව්වා. නමුත් අද රටටම පැහැදිලි කොයිතරම් ශක්තිමත් ආණ්ඩුවක්ද ජනාධිපතිතුමාගෙත් අගමැතිතුමාගෙත් නායකත්වයෙන් තියෙන්නේ කියන එක.
දැන් සමහර අය ඉන්නවා ගමේ තිබ්බ කොන්තරක් වැඩ ඔක්කොම කරලා ප්‍රාදේශීය සභාවේ ඉන්න කාලේ රස්සාවල් ඔක්කොම විකුණලා ඊළඟට ගමේ තිබ්බ හැම වැඩක්ම කරගත්ත අය දැන් මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයාගේ කටවුට් එක ගහලා ෆොටෝ එක දාලා මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයාගේ බස් එකේ එලිලා යන්න බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා. පුජ්‍යල ඡන්දයක් මේක. මේකේ මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයාගේ බස් එකේ නගින්න බෑ.
මගේ මේ පණවිඩය කලකිරියේ අපෙන් ඈත්තුණු සියලුම දෙනාට අපේ මේ සටන පළාත් පාලන මැතිවරණයක අපේක්ෂකත්වය ලබා ගැනීමට නෙවෙයි ඊට එහාට ගිහිල්ලා රට රැක ගන්න. ශ්‍රියාණී විජේවික්‍රම මන්ත්‍රීතුමිය සිත් රිදවීන් පහව ගියාට පස්සේ ඇගේ සිත වෙනස් කර ගනීවි කියලා මම නම් ඉහළින්ම බලාපොරොත්තු තබාගෙන ඉන්නවා.
පළාත් පාලන ඡන්දයෙන් පසු සභාවල් වල බලය අපි පිහිටුවන්. එසේ අපි කියන්නේ පොහොට්ටුව. පොහොට්ටුවේ බලය සභාවල් වල පිහිටුවීම සඳහා සමහරට ශ්‍රී ලංකන් දාස් පක්ෂයේම ආය වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එයාගේ උදව්වත් ගන්නවා. ඒ වගේම පුළුවන් නම් UNP එකනුත් කඩලා ගන්නවා මන්ත. ඒ පාලනයන් නැති කර ගැනීමට අපි හැම පියවරක්ම යොදා ගන්නවා.
Well, Minister of Finance and Mass Media, Mangala Samaraveera, says the proposed new constitution will give prominence to the right to information. The minister made the remarks speaking at an event held in Colombo today.
A program to raise awareness and share experiences among information officers of the Western Province was held at Temple Trees under the patronage of Minister of Finance and Mass Media, Mangala Samaraveera.
2015 ජනාධිපතිවරණයේත් මහමැතිවරණයේත් ජනතාව ලබා දුන් ප්‍රධාන ජනවරමකින් එකක් වූ මෙම තොරතුරු දැනගැනීමේ පනත ක්‍රියාත්මක කිරීම සඳහා අප රජය විධිමත් වැඩපිළිවෙලක් ක්‍රියාත්මක කළා රටේ නීතියක් බවට පත් කරා. මේ නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක කිරීම තුළින් යලිවතාවක් ශ්‍රී ලංකාව සක්‍රීය ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදයක් බවට මුළු ලෝකයටම අපිට පැහැදිලිව කියන්නට පුළුවන් වුණා. නව ව්‍යවස්ථාව තුලත් තොරතුරු දැනගැනීමේ අයිතියට අපි ප්‍රමුඛත්වය ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා.
Police media spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara emphasizes that severe legal action will be taken against those who violate election laws. Additional Election Commissioner MM Mohammed also addressed the media briefing today.
The nomination process of 21 districts commenced today. The 15th of December was declared as the deadline for submitting postal vote nominations for only 93 local government bodies. Meanwhile, the Election Commission also decided that the 22nd of December should be the deadline for submitting all nominations for 341 local government bodies. We are to deploy 10,000 police officers for election duties. All police stations have been informed to take stern legal action against any individual or group who acts in a manner to disrupt the process in the O-level examination centres. We will issue licenses for the use of public addressing systems or loudspeakers only in plots of land where an election meeting is held. However, the noise should be limited to the relevant arenas. We won't issue loudspeaker licenses to an election meeting which will coincide with an O-level examination. Vehicle parades are completely banned during the time of submitting these nominations. Most of the laws related to local government elections will be implemented from today onwards. We will use modern technology to gather evidence against wrongdoers. The police is also vested with powers to file cases at the Magistrates Court against certain issues.
Back in political stories, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa says he has not entered into any deals with Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. He made these remarks following his visit to Kandy today.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa called on the chief prelate of the Ramani sector, Most Venerable Napani Premasiritera, to wish him on his 92nd birthday today at the Sri Vidyasagar Mahapirivan in Huri, Kaduwa.
ඒකාබද්ධ විපක්ෂයෙන් යම් යම් පිරිස් ගැලවි යනවා. බලය හීන වෙනවද?
බලය හීන වෙන්නේ නැහැ.
There is a problem with the allocation of electoral seats. It does not make a difference if you are in power or not. Anybody can come and go as they wish.
ඔබතුමාගේ අගමැතිතුමාගේ යම්කිසි ඩීල් එකක් තියෙනවා. මේ ඩීල් එක තමයි මේ ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ කියලා කියනවා.
People who claim that I have a deal with the Prime Minister are those within the government and others who have deals with him. I do not have any deals with the Prime Minister and I cannot. What we are proposing is that we will accept anyone who is willing to sever ties with Ranil Wickremesinghe. This battle is against the United National Party. They should take full responsibility for the sale of state assets and the delay of elections. Look at our living expenses and unemployment. Even graduates are unemployed. There is no development in the country and they claim that they have done things that no government has ever done before. If one is seated in this government and is having some kind of deal, then we too become a stakeholder of the government. This is the problem we are faced with. Otherwise, we have no issues with the party.
Two key political figures of the National Freedom Front, Veerakumara Dissanayake and Piyasiri Wijanayake, announced their resignation from the NFF and joined the Sri Lanka Freedom Party today. They met with President Maithripala Sirisena this morning to pledge their support.
Following a meeting with the President, Veerakumara Dissanayake and Piyasiri Wijanayake held a media briefing this evening at the headquarters of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party.
අපි දන්නවා අපි දැන් හිටපු කඳවුර අපිට පහර දෙනවා අපි එන කඳවුර අපිට මල් මාල දානවා නමුත් වැදගත් වෙන්නේ අපි මොකක්ද මේ රටට කියන්නේ මම පැහැදිලි දේශපාලන මතයක් ඒකාබද්ධ විපක්ෂය තුල ඉදිරිපත් කළා ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ දෙකඩ කිරීමෙන් සිදුවන්නේ මහා බරපතල අපරාධයක් තුන් දෙනා තුන් පැත්තේ වැටෙන්න ගහලා තියෙන ෂොට් එකක් තමයි මේ ගහලා තියෙන්නේ කවුද දන්නේ නැහැ මේක සැලසුම් කරේ.
Meanwhile, views were expressed on individuals who left the National Freedom Front to join the Sri Lanka Freedom Party.
පක්ෂයේ මතවාදී සාකච්ඡාවක් තිබ්බා. ඒකෙදි පක්ෂයේ බහුතර මතයට පිටින් කීප දෙනෙක්වත් මතයක් ඉදිරිපත් කළා. ඒ හැරෙන්න පක්ෂ අර්බුදයක් නැහැ. අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමාගේ නායකත්වයෙන් ඉදිරි පළාත් පාලන මැතිවරණය සතුරන්ට හොඳ පිළිතුරක් අපිට දෙන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි. සියලු සතුරු බලවේග පරාජයට පත් කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි කියලා.
අයවැය අවසාන වෙනකොට විමල් වීරවංශ මන්ත්‍රීතුමාගේ පංචායුධයේ කණ්ඩායම එතුමාත් දාලා එතුමාට නොකිය පැදුරට නොකිය ගියා. නිසා මතක තියාගන්න මේ ඡන්දය අවසාන වෙනකොට විමල් වීරවංශ උන්නේ අපිත් එක්ක එකතුලා මේ යහපාලන ආණ්ඩුව ගෙනියන්න කටයුතු කරාවි.
On tonight's developing story, the Department of Railways informed today it will have to suspend all employees who have not reported to duty within the day. Department officials also stated that about 3,000 employees reported to work today following the ultimatum given to them on Saturday. However, in this backdrop, railway trade unions say they will continue strike action.
Other Derana witnessed that commuters were highly inconvenienced today as well, following the railway strike carried out by the Alliance of Railway Operations Supervisory Officers Union for a fifth consecutive day. The Department of Railways says it was able to successfully complete only 22 out of 310 train journeys during the day. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka Transport Board said that necessary number of extra buses have been allocated for commuters who are inconvenienced by the railway strike. The Department of Railways informed that as per the ultimatum given on Saturday, it will have to suspend all employees who have not reported to duty within the day today.
Members from 7 trade unions who engaged in the strike reported to work today. However, 5 trade unions have still not reported to work. I kindly request them to come back to work. I should always say that the Railway Department will do everything to provide uninterrupted services for O-level candidates.
The railway unions, however, emphasized that they will continue the strike action until their demands are met.
We held a discussion with the President's Secretary last night aimed at ending this strike. He promised us that the Cabinet paper on rectifying our salary anomalies will be presented to the Cabinet of Ministers on the 11th and that he will get the support of the President for its approval. We were happy with the answer, so we requested him to give the statement in writing, which he refused. Instead, he wanted us to give him a letter in writing with our signatures. If further action is to be taken, we didn't agree to that term, so we will be continuing the strike.
Meanwhile, the extraordinary gazette issued yesterday by President Maithripala Sirisena under the Essential Public Services Act, making railway service an essential service, was passed in Parliament today. 52 parliamentarians voted in favour of the gazette notification, while 8 voted against. The railway strike was also discussed during the parliamentary debate today. Deputy Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation Ashok Abesinghe told the House that they will not give employees job vacation letters if they heed the government's request.
දුම්රිය සේවය ඇතුළා තිබෙන වැඩ වර්ජනය ගත්තම එවුන්ගේ දුක්ගැනවිලට අහුම්කන් දීමට සූදානම් නැති ඉතාම දරදඬු ආකාරයේ ප්‍රවේශයක් ඇමතිවරයාගේ පැත්තෙන් ගන්නා බවට පේනලා තියෙනවා. එතුමා පෙන්නන වොයිස් කට් වලින් අපිට පේනවා මේ වෘත්තීය සමිතියත් එක්ක සාකච්ඡා කරන විදිහට නෙමෙයි නන්දි කඩා කලපුවේ ගනුදෙනු බේර ගන්න විදිහට තමයි එතුමා ප්‍රශ්න විසඳ ගන්න යන්නේ කියලා. දැන් අද උදේ ඉඳලා සේවයට වාර්තා නොකරන සේවක සේවිකාවන්ට සේවය හරගා කියලා ලියුම් ගන්න. මේ අමනුෂ්‍ය වැඩේ කරන්න එපා.
අද නීත්‍යානුකූල ක්‍රමවේදයක් තුල අපි ප්‍රශ්න විසඳන්න හදන්නේ. මේ රජයේ ලබා දීපු නිදහස වල්බూరు නිදහසක් කරගෙන අහිංසක ජනතාවගේ එදිනෙදා කටයුතු කඩාකප්පල් කරන්න ඉඩ දෙන්න එපා. දරුවට විවාහකට යන්න විදිහක් නැහැ. තාත්තා වෘත්තීය සමිති ක්‍රියාමාර්ග ගණීද දරුවෝ ගැන හිතනවා.
අපේ දුම්රිය දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට කියලා තියෙනවා මේ සේවය අත්හැර ගියසේ සලකන ලිපි දැම්මම යවන්න එපා. හැබැයි අපි මේකට එන්නේ නැතුව ඉන්නවා නම් අපිට ඒක කරන්න සිද්ධ වෙයි. මට ඊයේ පෙරේදා රියදුරු මහත්තයෙක් ගෙනල්ලා පඩිපත පෙන්නුවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ අතිකාල දීමනත් එක්ක 2,26,000 මාසෙට ගන්නවා. දුම්රිය රියදුරේ පැය 8ක් වැඩ කරනවා. ඊට පස්සේ පැය 9ක තියෙනවා විවේක කාලයක්. ඒ විවේක කාලේ පැය 9ට එක පැයකට පැය 1.5 ගානේ අතිකාල ගන්නවා පැය 600ක්. එක්කෙනෙකුගේ අතිකාල දීමන 1,75,000 1,80,000යි. මෙන්න මෙවැනි තත්ත්වයක් තියෙන්නේ.
A special concert showcasing the talents of differently abled children was held recently at the Rehabilitation Hospital in Derana with Manusat Derana initiative sponsoring the event. The concert was held in line with this year's International Day of Disabled Persons, which fell on the 3rd of December. Dozens of children who are treated in the hospital participated in the concert. Admiring their talent, the Manusat Derana team distributed school equipment as well as other necessities for the school children. The 2017 GC Ordinary Level Examination will commence tomorrow. The Department of Examination requests students sitting for the examination to be present at their relevant examination centres half hour ahead. With that, let us take a look at a few other stories making news across the island.
CCTV cameras captured a speeding van colliding into 3 three-wheelers in Kanadole, Alapatha, Ratnapura. One person was critically injured in the incident. Meanwhile, a motorbike collided into a car at the Eravuru Clock Tower Junction in Batiklo, injuring one individual. A CCTV camera in a nearby shop captured the incident. A father once stabbed his wife and his mother-in-law, leaving them critically injured at Samagi Mawati in Navagamua earlier today. He later committed suicide.
You are watching Sri Lanka's award-winning news channel, Derana 24/7.
Welcome back in business news. According to the Asian Development Bank report on human capital development in South Asia, achievement prospects and policy changes, human capital contributed about 11% of Sri Lanka's average GDP per worker growth rate in the first half of 2017 and 16% in the second half of this year. The report released today suggests that South Asia needs to keep up with the evolving skills requirement of the economic structural transformation process, as well as the rapidly growing youth workforce. ADB recommended 9 policy actions to attain a more productive, well-skilled and relevant labour force for a modern, competitive economy, which includes implementation of human capital development strategies that are coherent with national development policies and relevant to changing demand. It added that further investment is needed to upgrade and monitor educational quality towards achieving better learning outcome and boost the quality of training and skills development system to meet industry standards and hasten job skill matching. And in international business news, the craze for cryptocurrencies entered a new chapter today as Bitcoin futures rocketed by 1/5 of their value at a hotly anticipated launch, while Asian shares climbed amid optimism about global growth. The most traded contract on the Chicago-based CBOE Global Markets Exchange opened at $15,460 in New York before leaping to a high of $18,700, a gain of 21%. They were last quartered at $18,100, a premium of more than $1,700. The futures are cash-settled contracts based on the auction price of Bitcoin in US dollars. The cryptocurrency has boasted a gravity-defying 15-fold gain since the start of the year, anticipating and attracting institutional interest and no small amount of question marks. And global arms sales increased for the first time in 5 years in 2016 as rising geopolitical tensions fueled defense spending. According to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, sales by the world's 100 biggest arms producers increased 1.9% from the previous years to reach $374.8 billion. The report added that the growth in arms sales was expected, driven by the implementation of new national major weapons programs, ongoing military operations in several countries, and persistent regional tensions. American firearms remained at the top of the industry in 2016, with sales increasing by 4% to more than $217 billion. That was 58% of the global total. And at the Colombo Stock Exchange, shares extended falls into a second session today, closing at their lowest in nearly 8 months as foreign investors sold blue chips such as conglomerate JKH. The Colombo Stock Exchange, meanwhile, saw the drop of ASPI by 0.28% to 6,357.41, its lowest close since the 17th of April. It fell 0.6% last week in its 5th consecutive week drop, but has gained 2% so far this year. We now have Achyutan Srinagan from First Capital for more details on today's share trades.
The price depreciation in 84 counters led by John Keels and Sampath weighted heavily on the index, negating the effect of 41 positive counter led by big cap CTC. High foreign participation of 54% led into the foreign outflow from the market amounting 13.5 million rupees. On the crossing board, Hemas Holding traded 323,000 shares at 129.9 cents and TGL traded 600k shares at 36 rupees.
You are watching Sri Lanka's trusted news brand, Other Derana 24/7.
In international news, New York City police say a man is being held after an attempted terror attack in America's biggest and busiest bus terminal. U.S. media quote an unnamed official as saying the man had a pipe bomb strapped to his body when it detonated at the height of the morning rush hour in an underpass at the Port Authority terminal near Times Square. 5 officials say 4 people were injured, but none in danger. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he expects European countries to follow the US in recognizing Jerusalem as his country's capital. He's in Brussels for talks with the first time an Israeli Prime Minister has visited the city in more than 20 years.
The EU's foreign policy chief, Federica Mogherini, says the bloc's stance on the matter is unchanged. US President Donald Trump's move to change the location of the embassy has left the US isolated on a highly sensitive issue between Israel and Palestinians. Arriving in Brussels, Netanyahu again welcomed the announcement, saying Jerusalem had been the capital of the Jewish people for 3,000 years and Trump had put facts squarely on the table.
I believe that all or most of the European countries will move their embassies to Jerusalem, recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital.
As well as recognizing Jerusalem, President Trump also said he was directing the US State Department to begin preparations to move the US Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
And this year's winner of the Nobel Peace Prize, the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, warns that one misstep could lead towards a massive devastation through nuclear conflict. Delivering the Nobel lecture after receiving the prestigious award yesterday in Oslo, the head of the ICAN, Beatrice Finn, called on nuclear nations to adopt a UN treaty banning atomic weapons.
The International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons was awarded this year's Nobel Peace Prize by a Nobel committee that cited the spread of nuclear weapons and the growing risk of an atomic war. ICAN is a coalition of 468 grassroots non-governmental organizations that campaigned for a UN treaty to prohibit nuclear weapons adopted by 122 nations in July. Executive Director of ICAN, Beatrice Finn, delivered the Nobel lecture together with Setsuko Thurlow, an 85-year-old survivor of the Hiroshima atomic bombing and now an ICAN campaigner.
I saw all around me utter, unrecognizable, unimaginable devastation. Procession of ghostly figures shuffled by. Grotesquely wounded people, they were bleeding, burned, blackened, and swollen.
All nations around the world choose the end of nuclear weapons over the end of us. This is the choice that the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons represents. Join this treaty. A moment of panic or carelessness, a misconstrued comment, or boost ego could easily lead us to the destruction of entire cities.
Rahul Gandhi was appointed the leader of India's 132-year-old Congress party amid a slump in the party's popularity following an abysmal performance in the 2014 general election. As he is to take office on Saturday, let's take a look at other stories across the world.
Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro says the country's main opposition parties are banned from taking part in next year's presidential election. He said the election could only be contested by parties which took part in yesterday's mayoral polls, boycotted by opposition parties which allege electoral bias. Saudi Arabia has announced it will lift a ban on commercial cinemas that has lasted more than 3 decades. The Ministry of Culture and Information said it would begin issuing licenses immediately and that the first cinemas were expected to open in March 2018.
You are watching Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
In a post-match analysis of yesterday's ODI encounter between Sri Lanka and India, Sri Lanka cricket interim coach Nick Pothas hailed Suranga Lakmal's world-class performance as the reason for the Lankan victory. He made these remarks at a media briefing held in India yesterday.
Well, excitement, but not everyone.
Suranga Lakmal claimed 4 wickets for 13 runs in his impeccable 10 overs, which included 4 maidens.
Gone. Number 4.
Suranga's a world-class bowler. If you give him conditions that suit him, he's always going to, it doesn't matter who he bowls at, he's going to make life difficult. Yeah, he's a world-class performer, he's a very gutsy individual, and he's a great guy to have in the trenches with you.
Pothas also highlighted that the toss and a no ball by India's Jasprit Bumrah were the defining moments of the match.
I firmly believe there were 2 massive moments in the game, the toss being one of them and the no ball to Upul Taranga. I think that was a huge moment in the game because you lose another one there and you're suddenly 15 for 3 and that's a very different situation. So they've sort of defined the day.
Stand-in Indian skipper Rohit Sharma meanwhile said that yesterday's game was an eye-opener for the hosts.
It's an eye-opener. We should learn. This is a young batting group. So I hope these guys, including myself as well, we learn from that and play out those situations well next time. We lost the game with the bat, not with the ball. I think we as a batting group failed to tackle that situation. They bowled in the right channels, kept us guessing all the time. Actually, you got to give credit to Sri Lankan bowlers as well because, they made full use of the condition.
President of Sri Lanka Cricket Thalanga Sumathipala meanwhile says Chandika Hathrusinghe will help the Sri Lankan team address technical issues in their performance. Hathrusinghe, who has been appointed the new head coach for Sri Lanka, will begin work with the team on the 20th of this month. Addressing media at the parliamentary complex yesterday, Sumathipala pointed out that Hathrusinghe was the best fit to develop young talent.
According to our current needs, we really were in the lookout for a suitable coach to address the technical aspect. We shortlisted 4 of them. We gave a chance to Nick Pothas temporarily, but we think that Hathrusinghe is the right person at this time. Since we have a young team who's transforming themselves to be pros, we decided that having Hathrusinghe will be a better option given our current situation. We also made a request to the Bangladesh Cricket Board that we would prefer working with him if he was released. And they did give us the permission. We are in an era where we should invest in terms of technicality. So we believe that with the arrival of Hathrusinghe, we will be able to get a good start as we plan. We are hoping to sign him up until 2020.
You are watching Sri Lanka's #1 news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
Good evening and welcome to Forecast First. Now, temperatures are to vary between 20 and 28 degrees Celsius over the course of the 24 hours. Now, you can see that there will be some showers in most parts of the island. However, sunny skies are forecasted for the northern region of the island, particularly in Mannar and Jaffna. Moving downwards, you can expect some thunder showers in the cities of Galle, Colombo and Kandy. That is it from your weather centre tonight. Let's now take a quick look at your city-by-city forecast.
That's all on your news tonight. You can follow us first at 9 on Facebook and Twitter. But before you go, we'd like to leave you with visuals from the Chinatown Memory Exhibition held recently in Colombo. The Arts and Crafts exhibition featured vibrant designs depicting Chinese culture. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.
Bringing you the news and information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.